Hi, this is Jethro Jones, host of the Transformative Principal podcast and the Transformative Leadership Summit. I hope you enjoy these teasers from the summit. It starts July 31st, and I would be honored if you would join us for some high-intensity learning just before you start the school year. Sign up at transformativeleadershipsummit.com. Enjoy this interview teaser with Shane Safir.
Sort of a very charged political issue right now, right? Immigration. And I think what I learned from these young people was that in 2013 and then particularly in 2014, the number of unaccompanied children coming to the U.S. just skyrocketed. I'm looking at a graph right now that I think you're going to share that there were about 60,000 unaccompanied minors in 2014 alone. And these kids are coming with, as you said, trauma and incredibly deep stories and landing in a variety of circumstances, sometimes with good legal and social support, sometimes not so good. And, just trying to make their way through school and the system. And as you said so eloquently, we have to know their stories because otherwise there's this disconnect, right, between the kind of teaching we're doing, the kind of discipline or sort of school culture moves we're making and who they are and what they're carrying in the world. So some of the, stories the young people talked about were the level of poverty in their countries, the level of sometimes violence, the possibility of being tapped on the streets to be in a gang and wanting to escape that. And then there's also an image here in the slides about the border immigration experience and what it was like to be, 15 or 16, traveling alone or just with your siblings. I think it's slide 14. And being in, they call it a hielera, the picture on the left, where you see sort of aluminum blankets. Essentially, they're there for about 5 or 6 days just across the border. It's the first detention center. And it's so cold that it's called a freezer. The kids call it a freezer in Spanish. And those blankets are these very thin, essentially like foil blankets that are put on top of them. And Guillermo, one of the students I interviewed, talked about barely having anything to eat for those 6 days, having about a sandwich, and just the level of, it's hard to fathom for me as a mother, the level of fear and terror that kind of experience must have instilled in a young person. And on the other hand, their incredible resilience to keep going and to come and to land in school and to be willing to learn. And then even on another level, to be willing to lead this kind of experience to educate their teachers and their community members about what they've been through.